All righty, let's take a look at our homework from yesterday. Starting off with the M&Ms. For this lesson, it was about percent increase and decrease. Here we are showing some diagrams. I want you to understand that we've already worked with this before. When we were dealing with discounts and markups, or like sales tax or tips or anything like that, a discount is a percent decrease. And a tip on a dinner bill is a percent increase. And so the percent decrease is going to be figured out here. A loaf of bread increased in price from 29 cents to $2.89. It looks like it went up by $2.60. So that's going to be the amount of the change, and it's going to be based on the original amount. So you see this ratio there is going to be equal to X. Well, let's just write that as X over 100. So I'll do it over here. Looks like $2.60 when it started off as 29 cents is going to be equal to X over 100. So this changing from the actual decimal amount to its percent, that represents an 897% increase in the amount. It started off as 29 cents, so that's an increase. How much did it go up? So you can cross multiply. When you cross multiply, you end up with 0.29x is equal to, what does that end up being, 260? And then when you divide each side by 0.29, you will see that your answer ends up being 897. And so that's going to be a percent. The calculator prices decreased from $59 to $9.95. Well, that's a big decrease. That decreases by $49.05. So the amount of the change over the original amount is going to be equal to your percent out of 100. So same idea. Look for a giant one if you can. If you can't, you cross multiply and you'll solve for this variable, which ends up being 83. So that's an 83% decrease in the price. Let's take a look at some examples here. Joe wanted to make more, or wanted to know more about how the cost of fertilizer for his lawn care business was changing. The cost of a bag increased from $8 to $15. So how much did it go up? It went up by $7. What was the original cost? It was originally $8. So if we set that up as a percent, look for your giant ones, or maybe we just want to cross multiply. 8 times X is 8X. And 7 times 100 is 700. When you divide each side by 8, 700 divided by 8 is going to give you 87.5%. So this ratio is the ratio of the amount of change to the original price. This is the percent, and I guess just for good measure, we're writing the percent in decimal form. But this would be, the amount of the increase, 87.5%. Increase is how we would describe that. Solving each problem. All right, so how do we solve these problems? Whatever you do to one side of the equation, do the same thing to the other. So if we divide each side by 85 hundredths, you end up with 200 divided by 85 hundredths. Use your calculator to get this answer. And here for B, I don't really want you using a calculator. Just remember that if you want to change this to 1x, you have to multiply both sides of the equation times the reciprocal of that fraction. So we're going to multiply each side times 6/7. That effectively cancels these guys out, making that 1x. But now you have to take 140 times 6. What does that end up being? 840. And then divide it by 7. And as a result of that, you end up with X being equal to 120. Here we have a situation where we've got a bunch of test scores and we want to put them in order from least to greatest. Once they're in order from least to greatest, then you find what number is in the middle, and it turns out, looks like there's 2 of them in the middle because you've got an even number of numbers there. So you take the average of those 2, and that's your median. For the quartiles, take the median of the lower half, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The number in the middle is going to be your first quartile. That's 62. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The number in the middle is going to be your third quartile on the upper half. That's going to be 83. And now I'm very sorry, you have to find the mean. I'm not going to show this for you. Just add up all the numbers and then divide by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and you should get that number. And then the difference between your two quartiles is your inner quartile range. So 83 divided by 62 gives you 21. Here we have a 5D process type of a problem. Mr. Crow, the head groundskeeper at High Tech Middle School, mows the lawn along the side of the gym. The lawn is rectangular and the length is 5 feet more than twice the width. So I'm going to, of course, draw a picture of a rectangle that represents the lawn. And then I'm going to define my length and my width. I don't know what the width is, and I don't know what the length is, but I know that is 5 more than 2 times whatever the width is. Since we are trying to find perimeter, you know that we're going to add up all 4 of those sides. So we've got 2 sides that are 2x plus 5 and 2 sides that are x. Now, if you want to use the guess and check table, go ahead. I would prefer to solve it algebraically. So I'm going to add up all 4 sides. So what is that? How many total x's? 2, 4, 5, 6 x's. 5 plus 5 is 10. And when you add all those together, it's supposed to equal 250. So let's take away 10 from each side and see that 6 x's had to be 240. Divide by 6. And what do we get? We get the width has to be 40, and excuse me, what was the unit of measurement? Feet. 40 feet. So what is it they're asking us to declare? They're asking us to find the dimensions of the lawn. So if this side is 40, this has to be 80 plus 5, so that'll be 85. When you add all those together, does it equal to 250? Yes, it does. So go ahead and declare your answer. Problem number 84 is just evaluating these expressions. If we plug in these values for x, does it make the left side greater than the right side? It's just a matter of plugging those numbers in and simplifying, and you'll see that A is the only one that doesn't work. If you were to solve this inequality by subtracting 2 x's from each side and adding 3 to each side, you would see that any value for x that is greater than or equal to 6 is actually going to work in this inequality. So B is going to work because 9.5 is greater than 6. C will work since it can be equal to 6. And then D will work because 10.5 is greater than 6. But -3 can't work. That is actually less than 6, not greater. And then our last problem. Our last problem, Mr. Takaya can eat 3 slices of pizza in 5 minutes. So I'm going to write that as the ratio over here. If he continues to eat at the same rate, how long will it take him to eat the whole pizza, which has 12 slices? All right, so proportional reasoning, what are you going to multiply times 3 to give you 12? 4, so 5 times 4 means it's going to take 20 minutes. And then how many slices could he eat in a half hour? Well, half hour is 30 minutes, so what's your giant one here? Looks like it's a 6. So that means it's going to be more than 12, right? Because 20 minutes was 12 slices, so 30 minutes has to be more than that. Sure enough, 3 times 6 is equal to 18. And I believe that's it for our problems. That is it. Thank you for doing the homework. Go ahead and log into the new lesson. Go ahead and view that. Do your best on that, and good luck with tonight's homework.